Yogis, welcome to your Maya Align. Today's Maya Align practice is our Parivrtta Prithvi. And Parivrtta is Sanskrit for revolved. Prithvi is Sanskrit for earth. So we are exploring today our revolutions, our twists and turns around this earth with a very grounding alignment of our postures. A lot of the practice will be seated. And so if you would like to collect your props, optional props will be a strap and a couple of blocks. You won't necessarily need those, but they might come in handy a little later on. A bolster or some cushions or a couple of pillows is going to be really handy to grab now to begin opening through the pelvis and allowing the spine to find neutral position and a grounding. So hit pause if you don't have those. Otherwise, find yourself in your comfortable seat, rested up upon your bolster or maybe up upon your blocks or your pillows. Whatever you would like to take to find the hips elevated and find your Sukhasana. Now, Sukhasana is our easy cross leg. It allows us to elevate the pelvis, elevate the hips, and allow the knees to drape open, the hips to begin externally, rotating and draping open. And yogis, as you settle into your seat, we're going to be taking our Prithvi mudra today, using our hand gesture, creating a seal. So once you've cleared your space and maybe connected using your oils or your Palo Santo, I want you to find that neutral tilt of the pelvis. Allow the shins and the tops of the feet to remain supported. Now, Prithvi Mudra, we use the thumbs, which are symbolic of the element of fire, and our ring fingers, which symbolize the earth. And we connect our fire and our earth to create a circle, a cycle, just like a revolution or a Parivrtta Prithvi. And today's mudra we're going to be taking as an open gesture with the pinky fingers together to connect, and those meaty mounds at the base of the hands here open and connected. Remaining fingers, those pinky fingers, your middle finger and index finger are going to be open, and then just settle the elbows in beside the body. And as we pour open our Prithvi Mudra, we're going to be drawing the shoulder blades down the back body, finding that beautiful long alignment of the spine, and close down your eyes. So we settle into our grounding, elevated Sukhasana, connecting our fire and our earth. We connect our breath to these beautiful revolutions and cycles that we take, creating a seal with the top lip placed upon the bottom with the mouth. Let's collectively draw an inhale through the nose. Allow that inhale to lengthen the spine. And as you exhale out of the nose, we find a softening and a surrender into your seat. Just 2 more rounds today here. Deep inhale through the nose. And use your lengthy exhalation out of the nose to really settle the nervous system, to find some peace and some ease here. As you connect to your earth, 1 more breath, deep inhale. Lengthy, slow exhalation. Releasing that Prithvi mudra, release the connection of thumb and your ring finger, your fire and your earth, turn them down. Run your hands the lengths of your legs and take a roll of the shoulders, releasing through the neck. And gently blink open the eyes. Yogis, the more often you take to your mat and you connect and you find this grounding time, the quicker you're able to drop in and feel into the energy of the practice. If you need to stay and take a few more rounds of breathwork, please hit pause. Otherwise, I invite you to take mountain pose. We're going to be standing in the center of our mat today. Releasing out of your bolster, your prop, your blocks, whatever you're using for props today. And you'll want to take that one just off to the side. We won't be coming back to that one for a little bit as you draw to stand. And find your feet shoulder width apart, finding that real grounding sensation with all four corners of the feet and each of your toes. And when I take my Tadasana, I always like to find that alignment with the pelvis to begin. Finding your asis, those bony points of the pelvis, and allow the thighs to be like train tracks, like channels for that flow of energy. Running through the knees, the ankles, embed the big toes and spread the remaining toes nice and wide. Finding that connection beneath the toes and then checking in with your balance from front body to back body. Symbolic of our future and our past, and find a centered point here. Neutral balance and grounding for the front bodies and the back body. And take a sway into the right leg and the left leg. And as you work your way through left leg and right leg, just notice whether you were potentially sitting a little more into that feminine side or that masculine side. And then as you settle into center and your grounded Tadasana, feel that connection to the earth and feel that connectedness. And it should feel soft. It should feel gentle. It should feel calming. And let's come back to that Prithvi mudra, this time releasing through the side bodies, and find that elongation with the remaining three fingers, your pinky finger, middle finger, and index finger, and find a reaching and extension towards the earth. As you inhale, find length now from the pelvis through the spine and out of the crown. And feel that light, lifted, peaceful sensation run beyond the pelvis, all the way through the upper body. Your exhale allows the muscles to melt, the ligaments to release a little, some of that tension. 2 more rounds of breath, coming back to that seal upon the lips. Deep inhale through the nose. Slowly releasing. Let it exhale out of the nose. One final breath, inhale. Releasing the breath, exhale out of the nostrils. Beautiful. Releasing that Prithvi mudra as you sweep the hands overhead, yogis. Find an interlacing of the fingers. Open the palms to the sky. Length through the side body. And as you reverse swan dive, allow those fingertips to sweep the sides of the room. Be really soft and gentle in the knees here. As you round and fold forwards, connecting fingertips and toe tips to the mat. And then as you slowly release the spine and unravel, rounding out through the back body, we'll take 2 more sweeps here. Sides of the room, we rise. Fingertips to connect, opening through the palms, and find length through the front body. Release that grip, that seal, and find a swan dive, still nice and soft through those knees. Fingertips connect, this time maybe halfway lift, finding a little bit of length through the spine and the backs of the legs. Roll it down, unravel the spine, head hung heavy, shoulders heavy. One more sweep, inhale right. And take the crossing of the fingers, open the palms, find length. Reverse swan dive as you exhale, fold and fall all the way to the earth. Feel into that connection. We halfway lift. Find length through the backs of the hamstrings, the knees, the calves. Exhale, fold it down. Slowly unravel the spine. And this time as you draw to rise, if you do have a jumper on or some socks on, maybe you want to release those now. We'll be increasing a little bit of body temperature to begin with, finding some standing postures and connecting to some balance today to find ourselves grounded and in balance, preparing for our Parivrtta, our revolution of our practice. Once more, take that sweep, and this time as you inhale and draw to rise, we take the hands into prayer. I'm going to slowly take a side body release here as you draw length through the left side. We'll take that prayer by crossing and connecting the thumbs to find now a seal, and draw the elbows nice and tight to the sides of the head, and draw the upper arms, the biceps towards the ears, and feel some active contraction here, finding your head in a cradle between your arms as you draw ever so slowly into a beautiful big crescent type shape, finding length through that left side body. Our Prasaritra Padottanasana, our standing side body stretch. Let's inhale and draw to rise. Find yourself centered and notice any shifting out of that grounding sensation of the feet. Let's take it to the other side. Inhale first, find length. Exhale and slowly lowering down to the left side, releasing through right side body. Let's inhale, draw to rise. We're going to take that 2 more times. And this time as you draw to that right side, I want you to notice whether you counterbalance and release out of and lean into and allow that left hip to pop. And I want you to maintain that grounding sensation through the feet, simply drawing the left side open rather than folding and falling into the left side. We feel into strength, we feel into the supporting structures of the right side body. And maybe you find yourself able to drape a little deeper. Inhale, draw to rise. And let's take it to the left. Connecting once more, we find that length and that balance from left side and right side, body and feet. As you take it to the left side, noticing whether you are popping in that right hip or whether you're able to maintain that grounding sensation through both feet. Inhale, draw to rise, and this time we're beginning to explore some of that Parivrtta, that revolved sensations. As we inhale and find length, we're going to take it to right side body and take a pause at your greatest depths for your revolution today. And then slowly pour the heart forwards as you take your time to turn in, to roll in, to revolve. Feel that stretch ripple through to the back of the spine, turning the gaze down towards the mat. And we're slowly going to take a full circle and cycle and make our way beyond that Prasaritra into a beautiful, big, deep spinal rotation, maybe the fingertips grazing the mat. Keeping the eyes down as you draw through that left side as you inhale and find yourself back in that centered position. Take a pause here, release the grip. Come back to that Prithvi, find length through those remaining 3 fingers and sense the altered state of taking that single side revolved side body stretch. Can you notice a little imbalance? Can you notice yourself more heavily weighing on one side? Can you notice a lightness through one side? Let's release that Prithvi and sweep the sky. Inhale, draw to rise. Opposite cross of the thumbs if you've taken your prayer at the top, and find the opposing thumb now to connect, and we'll take it to the left side, buddy. Inhale, length through the spine. Exhale, draw down to that left side. And keeping the shoulders squared off, the hips squared off. Keeping the feet grounded. Take a moment here. And slowly take that rotation now, that revolution, as you pour the rib cage forward. Gazing down to the mat, releasing ever so slowly through the entire side body. Finding your way around the earth. Making one full revolution as you draw all the way to the right side. Inhale, draw to rise. And find yourself in your extended mountain, Uttanasana. Reverse swan dive as you release out of that prayer. Exhale and fold. Fingertips to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. We're going to take a beautiful deep bend in the knees now as you slowly heel toe the feet out, maybe just a little wider, and sink down into a nice soft Malasana. We're going to take some figure eights and some revolutions in your Malasana before you settle into stillness. So you'll rock it all the way out onto the right foot, allowing that left foot to maintain that grounding through the toes and the entire foot. Draw all the way to the ball of the foot on the right. And then find a figure eight as you rock it across to the left, releasing the right. And then with your breath, taking that gentle sway left to right, and maybe you maintain that connection with the fingertips, or release out of the fingertips and explore your Malasana hands free, having a little bit of faith and trust that you have balance. Release the fingertips when you feel ready and find the elbows rested upon the thighs. We'll take just a couple more rounds here. Maybe you take your hands to the knees and find a little more height and length for the spine. And if you fall out and find your sit bones on the earth, it's all part of the journey and the process. Have a little laugh and draw yourself back to your Malasana. And final couple of rounds of breath here. And let's settle in and find a new base of support and a new center. Now it's your first Malasana here, grounding and centering. So if you're still feeling a little tight through the hips and through the knees, that's when I'd invite you to bring in one block or a bolster just to settle beneath the sit bones, to feel into a little bit of support for this first round. So whether you're taking your Malasana supported or support free, either way our sit bones draw down towards the ground, and we're looking to create length through the spine, and feet are nice and wide and out on about that 45-degree angle. We're going to find our elbows inside the knees and creating a connection between the elbows and the knees. Find your hands in prayer and use that little bit of pressure to draw you out of the pelvis and find that length in the spine. We're here for 3 breaths, yogis. Inhale. Maybe closing down the eyes. Exhale out of the nose. And taking our time to work our way through the postures today. And at each point coming back to this moment of stillness, these moments that we collect one more breath. And it's these moments that allow us the time and space between the postures to recenter and to ground. And taking a revolution now as you release the fingertips, we're going to plant the right fingertips into the mat just inside that right foot and peel open on that left side, and just draw that left palm to your heart, your elbow drawing back and gazing over that left shoulder. Left shoulder draws inside that left knee now, and your right hand runs the length of your left arm, and we open up and take a deep spinal rotation, drawing over the right shoulder. Right hand draws to heart, and we'll take the right elbow to knee. Left fingertips to the mat, and feel into that connection on the left side. Release that right elbow now and peel over. Your gaze over that right shoulder. Right elbow back to the knee, left hand running. The length of right arm and overhead, beautiful, big, deep spinal twist. At each time through our rotations and our revolutions that we make today, we're feeling into that little bit of pressure and using it to our advantage to take that leap of faith and feel into that revolution. We'll draw back to center. Your final breath in Malasana if you are support free. Inhale, find length through the spine. Release the exhale. And let's find the fingertips on the mat. If you were on a support, let's lose it now. Take it off to the side so it's available for you to come back to if you feel the need. And settling back into that Malasana, and then fingertips onto the mat. And we're going to draw to a forward fold. We're rotating or pivoting on the ball of the foot here, and allow the heels to turn out ever so slightly. Your hips are now folding in or turning inward into this internal rotation. And with the fingertips still on the mat, we find a halfway lift. Should feel like a beautiful big release through the hips, the low back. And from here, we're going to be taking that figure eight just like we took in our Malasana. And slowly rocking into one hip and then into the other. And you can use your fingertips here to support you. Otherwise, this is where those two blocks can come in handy if you feel like there's any restriction through the mid-body, because we want a fair bit of space here as you take these next couple of rounds. So I don't want you to restrict it here in the belly. We're looking to create space, so the hands, whether they be on the blocks or on the mat, we want there to be a spaciousness for the breath and for your belly. Wherever your blocks may be or wherever the mat may be, whatever's comfortable for you today. Taking your options and feeling into support or no support today. Either way, we ground with what we have. Our toes, our feet, our hands. And wherever you are, settle into stillness. So you're going to rock on the ball of the foot to turn the heels in. Sink the pelvis nice and low and draw into that Malasana. Hips draw down, spine nice and long, elbows inside the knees. Take an inhale and find some length. Hands back to blocks, maybe adjusting. And take the hips to the sky. Rotate out on the heels, halfway lift. Exhale, heels in. Sink. Malasana. One breath here. Inhale. Rise on the exhale, rotating on the ball of the foot, heels out, halfway lift. Take your time here. We're going to find our way through 3 more rounds. Maybe progressing through those different levels of the blocks. Rotating on the ball of the feet, sinking down Malasana. Take a pause. Maybe adjusting your blocks. Exhale, we rise. Heels turn out, halfway lift. Exhale, heels turn in, sink down into your seat. Deep, deep stretch here through the hips. 2 more rounds. Inhale. We rise. Exhale. We lower. Yogis, one final round here in your little frog squats. Fingertips to the mat. Inhale, pivot on the ball of the foot. Release the heels, halfway lift. Exhale, sinking down into your Malasana. And find your hands in prayer. And this time as we draw to stand, we're taking it support free. Playing with all of our support and our postures today. in supported options and unsupported options. So beautiful. Let's roll those heels and toes in. Take your little walk. Find the big toes together to touch those beautiful big revolutions that we took at the start of practice. Our side body stretch in our Parivrtta Hastasana. We're taking once more each side. Take a sweep and inhale, draw your right. And crossing the thumbs and maybe just finding the index finger remaining here. Let's slowly draw and over to the right side, staying grounded, and it'll be a little more difficult now to stay grounded with these feet together. Notice whether you're instinctively wanting to pop out in that left hip and come back, draw back, maybe releasing out of some of the depth that you were wanting to explore. Let's slowly roll it down, gaze down to the mat, shoulders squared off to the mat, and find your way through one full rotation. And just like the earth and the sun, as we draw back to rise, inhale, and let's take it to the left side. And side body stretch through the right side, checking in with your balance. Slowly round it down and find your way all the way through center, taking that sweep of the sky as you draw. And finding your way back to center, releasing the hands and draw back to your Tadasana, extended fingertips. Draw the palms open, the shoulders back, inhale. Release slowly out of the nose, exhale. Yogi's drawing into our standing balances. We take the weight into the left leg. We're taking an Upanasan, right knee into chest. Watching that hip doesn't want to pop or drop. Finding yourself centered, balanced and grounded, not just in the foot now, but through the pelvis too. Maybe you take your left hand to find a counter. Or if you're struggling with your balance today, find your drishti, your gaze, fixed on a point about 1.5 meters in front of you. One more breath, drawing a deeper contraction of that knee into the chest, and then slowly release. As you settle that right foot back, notice that warmth and that tingling sensation running the left leg, that contribution to find you fixed in that stable base and support. We now take to the right. Left toes draw in, left knee draws in, and you find an Upanasan and a balance now on that right leg. Nice, strong, grounded, stable base of support through that right as you take your 3 breaths. And final breath, maybe drawing that left in a little tighter again, checking in with that hip hop or drop and finding your hips squared off, slowly releasing the left. As you find the left fixed and grounded, we're coming into our Vriksasana, our tree pose. Nothing more grounding than this. Finding the left leg acting as your tree trunk, your toes, the roots, those points of balance we found around the foot earlier, connecting into the mat beneath you as you draw that right knee into the chest and find that fixed point gaze. One breath in your Upanasan. As you release the exhale, we release, and you can use that right hand to find your positioning today for your tree pose. And maybe you settle the sole of the foot on the inner upper thigh, or maybe you take a connection at the calf. Or if your balance is off today, find the big toe or the tips of the toes rested upon the mat. We're looking for that beautiful, deep, open, external rotation at the hip here. And you feel that spaciousness already being awoken within that right hip. Here for one more breath and maybe exploring a slightly more challenging variation if you've settled in and found your roots. found your balance, found yourself grounded. Wherever you are, draw the knee back in, and this time as you inhale and find the knee in towards the chest, we're going to exhale and round out through the back body, taking the forehead down towards the knee, and then release with control back to the mat. Round 2, balanced posture. Let's take that to the right. Right toe spread wide. Drawing the left toes high, the left knee high. And take it into an Upanasana, 1 breath, balance through the hips, the pelvis. As you exhale, your left hand supporting that ankle and finding yourself rested on maybe the inner upper thigh or the calf on the right, or connecting to the mat. Either way, the focus is not on the height of your foot, it's on that opening of the pelvis. It's on the balance and in your ability to find yourself in balance and grounding and not getting caught up in the overthinking mind and the frustrations that arise in these balancing postures. Are you able to settle? 1 more breath, maybe taking a slightly more challenging variation of your Vriksasana, avoiding that knee, opening the pelvis, and as you release, let's draw that knee back in Upanasana and take your grip around the shin or on the hamstrings. Draw the knee in, and as you exhale, slowly rounding out through the back body, drawing the forehead down towards that knee, and let's release. So beautiful. Yogis, take your sweep of the sky. We're going to be taking it to the mat as you inhale. We're going to swan dive down, running out through the back body. And fingertips to the mat, and this time draw into the balls of the feet to find your squat. Knees now nice and wide, big toes still together to touch. And as you settle into your seat, we're going to take a walk and allow your rib cage and your belly to drape through your Malasana. And taking a walk all the way off to that right side. And as you do so this time, again, feeling into our new base of support in just the balls of the foot and the toe. Feel into that revolved sensation and that deep opening through the left side. Your right shoulder and rib cage connecting to that right thigh. And draw it back through center and walk it back up, finding a moment in your toe stand balance, maybe coming back to that. And Prithvi mudra here as you find length through the spine. Releasing the mudra, and let's take your walk, taking it all the way across to the left side now. Left shoulder, left rib cage, into that left thigh, deep opening through the right side in this revolved pose, opening through the back of the rib cage. And let's slowly walk it back into center. And this time draw the knees down to the mat, staying on the balls of the toes. As you open chest and shoulders and find alignment for the spine, opening once more, maybe connecting back to that Prithvi mudra, deep release through the feet here. Let's take it all the way down to the mat, releasing your mudra. Find the fingertips upon the mat. Release the toes and find your Sukhasana, back to where we began. This time, no support. Grounding into the sit bones, and you can release the meaty part of the buttocks from beneath your pelvis, allowing you to really connect with those sit bones. And let's find our way all the way out now to our peak posture. We'll release this right foot first, maybe guiding it out with that right arm and finding a foot in a flexed position, and you're just looking to keep that left knee in that open, easy cross leg posture, pose position. active right leg, and I want you to feel that same sensation that we just found in your standing postures, your Uttanasana and your Vriksasana. That strength that you are able to sense through that right leg remains even in your seat here. From here, we're going to be running that right arm down the length of the right leg, and you might find a stable position upon the ankle, the calf, or maybe the outer blade of the foot, wherever's comfy for you for this first one. Your left arm reaching overhead, take the gaze just like you did in your earlier Parivrtta in your seat, your rotation. And this time we're taking that left hand overhead to hang. Much deeper side body stretch than we've explored so far. We're taking that little cycle and circle as you roll forwards, just as we did earlier in our Urdhva Hastasana. And drawing down left fingertips to the mat, square off the shoulders, inhale. Exhale, forehead towards the knee. Inhale, draw to rise and take a walk back up that leg. And now Janu Shirsasana is broken down. That Janu is the knee and the Shirsasana is our head. So it's head toward the knee. It's not head on the knee. It's toward the knee. So whatever space you occupy within that range, it's your body, and today we work with what we have. Either way, we're grounding and not getting caught up in our head. Our head is drawing towards our knee, but we stay grounded and peaceful within our seat. And let's take one more variation this side, this time drawing into the sole of the foot on the left. And this time as you draw into your Janu Shirsasana, you're running the right arm on the inside of that right foot. And then drawing open, your left sit bone will rise. And taking your sweep overhead to feel into that side body stretch. And maybe you take a grip on that right arm, or maybe you walk down the length of the arm, gazing under the left shoulder. Round it out, and just as we did before, find the fingertips on the mat. Inhale, find length through the spine. Exhale, forehead toward the knee. And take a walk back to your seat. And draw that lefty back in, find the sit bones grounding once more. And that right leg now draws in. And we'll switch it over and find that left leg extending. And finding from our Sukhasana position with that right leg, our sit bones centered. And find length for the spine. Left arm now running the length of that left leg and taking a pause on the ankle or the outer blade of that left foot. Right arm now sweeping and drawing you into that revolved position. And then take the right arm overhead as you slowly draw to hang the hand, the elbow, the arm overhead. Maybe you soften into that left elbow a little. Slowly rounding out and down as if you're taking a full revolution, but just draw to square off those shoulders. Fingertips find the earth we inhale and back it off just a little. And finding length for the spine. Exhale, forehead toward the knee. Inhale, rise and slowly walk it back up. And second variation here in our Janu Shirsasana. Right foot draws out and open, and you allow that right sit bone just to lift a little. Your right elbow draws to our Malasana style position to draw into that opening. And that left arm now internal rotation, and take a grip on the inside of that left foot or the inside of your ankle or your calf, whatever's accessible for you. This is where that strap can come in handy. If you're close but not quite, you can loop that over the foot and find that release, still taking that internal rotation. And now from here, whatever grip you're taking, open that right side. And as you draw down, find that right hand hung overhead, maybe taking a grip on the tricep, the arm, or taking a walk down the leg. And drawing to gaze under that right armpit. And release the right hand, square off the shoulders. Opening that right knee, inhale, find some length, some space. Exhale, ripple down the spine. And forehead toward the knee. And the inhale, rise, take your walk. The right knee back in Sukhasana. Left back in Sukhasana. Inhale, find some length. Exhale, release. You're taking now one final round both sides. All of your preparatory postures, all building, all leading to this point with our deep openings and spinal twists, all preparing you in the pelvis. Let's keep that left foot tucked in into that Sukhasana position and find the right leg this time maybe a little more open. We were working with a 45-degree angle before. If it feels okay, maybe now you draw that right heel back just a little and find the leg nice and long. You can have some space this time between that left heel and sole of the foot in your thigh. And as you take your walk with that right hand, we're going to run it down the length of the inside of that right leg. And finding your grip on the inside of the calf, the ankle, or the inner blade of the foot. Or using your strap to find that grip exactly the same way, or your belt, whatever it is you're taking. Either way, this time as you take your sweep overhead, we're gazing beneath that left armpit and allow that right elbow to soften inside the right thigh. Hanging the left arm overhead and gazing under that left armpit. Maybe you find an extension with your inhale and you are able to experience that length that this creates in the spine, our inhale. Exhale, softening you just like that standing crescent posture we took earlier. 2 more breaths as you inhale, back it off a little and find that spaciousness. And as you exhale, maybe drawing that left hand a little closer. Final breath. Gazing under Parivrtta, your revolved posture. And this time as you inhale, we're going to slowly sweep and draw back to rise. And take it to the other side. Slowly draw that right foot back in. And find length for the left. Maybe opening the pelvis a little deeper. Taking your strap, your belt to the left side. Spaciousness between the sole of the foot and that left side. Find some length for the spine on the inhale, and as you exhale, run that left hand the inner side of that left leg, finding your strap, your grip, or the inner arch of that left foot. Sweep the right hand overhead, inhale. As you exhale, drawing down, bowing down, gazing beneath that right armpit. Maybe finding the left arm And finding a connection on the upper arm, the elbow, and the forearm, or maybe all the way down to the outer blade. You inhale, back it off a little. As you exhale, melt in. You inhale. Exhale, sink in. And this time as you inhale, let's draw to rise up out of your seat. Back into your seat. Sukhasana. Finding the spine long. Inhale. And as you exhale, we are folding forwards in your Sukhasana. Taking a walk with the fingertips tenting. And maybe finding some support for the forearms. Yogis, as you hang your head heavy, I want you to come back to the breath. And come back to the sensation of the sit bones, the pelvis, and the space in the low back. As you surrender into this forward fold, feeling balanced, and feeling that equal distribution of weight. And when we take our Parivrtta postures, when we take our rotations to one side or to the other, we're exploring those outer edges of our spine, those outer edges of our mind, challenging us in balance, challenging us in perspective. Slowly draw back to your seat. Let's switch the cross of your legs, finding the opposing one on top. Inhale, find length. Exhale, take your walk. Creating the pillow for the forehead once more. Folding inward in your Sukhasana. Giving yourself this moment, this gift in your surrender. 2 more breaths. When we take these challenging postures and these postures that throw us from our center, it's more important than ever to ground and find balance, even when we are out of balance, off balance. Whether it be balance upon the sit bones or balance in your feet or balance in a symbolic nature in life. We are able to ground. We ground through our breath. We ground our energy. We ground our thoughts. And for now, slowly draw back up to your seat. We're closing out our practice today in your seat with your sit bones connecting. Come back to that Prithvi mudra we found at the start of class. Connect your fire and your earth and run there. Fingers the length of your legs. Flip open your palms. Allow the backs of your hands to settle on the knees. Inhale and find your spine long. And as you exhale, feel into the heaviness of your structure. Feel into the opposing outer edges, and as you take the next breath, while you remain grounded with those strong foundations, can you sense the lightness? And with those deep roots that we create and we embed into the earth, it's through that strong set of foundations that we are able to feel that light, spacious sensation. where we are able to leap, where we are able to fly, where we're able to soar. And yogis, drawing your backs of your hands from your knees and releasing that mudra and allowing your palms to settle in your point of center, your fingertips all meeting at that point of center in balance, in a beautiful equilibrium. And find an inhale here for the spine, your exhale releasing you, and drawing the chin down to chest. No matter what versions of revolutions we experience upon our journey, what Parivrtta we take, and how life twists us, turns us, and revolves us, we always have our Prithvi to return home to. Mother Earth, Gaia, and that earth element that resides within you. And yogis, as you draw to arise with the gaze and gently blink open the eyes, may you leave the four corners of your mat feeling connected to that Prithvi energy within you. May you leave these four corners of your mat feeling connected to the earth that surrounds and supports you. May you feel balanced and connected. Thank you so much for sharing your earth elements with me today. Namaste.